Hello and welcome to another Unlimited video. So here is a RuneCraft deck that has been pretty dominant on the Unlimited ladder, I've noticed lately. So this is of course mostly focused around Daria and spell boost, mostly going for of course big amounts of storm damage very quickly. There is also the Earth Rune variant which runs in a very similar fashion to this, although focuses more heavily on the burn aspect, but I have noticed this one in particular has been doing pretty exceptionally, so I really wanted to give it a go and showcase for you guys, so we're going to get right into that and check it out. So your main aim with this deck, of course, is to spell boost your hand so you can pull off one-turn combinations that deal massive amounts of damage. Anywhere between the realms of 10 to 15 damage is optimal. That's usually what you're looking for in the big burst turns. Otherwise, getting any little chip damage before that will obviously help you get a kill, pretty much, defeating the opponent there, mainly. That's all you got to aim for. So of course, starting off early here, we get the Snipe, which is a good turn 1 play when we have Fate's Hand already in our hand, so we can take advantage of at least the first little bit of spell boost. And we also have Glow, which looks to be a pretty decent turn 2 play with nothing else to actually go with, so we've got a fairly decent curve out now, which is not a bad thing at all. If only we could have a decent way of dealing with these cards now. Blood is definitely not a matchup that typically is favoured for me, but it's definitely not entirely bad either. So they're going a little wide. We should be able to take care of most of this next turn. Knowledge Seeker will do a nice job. Usually I like to use that for face damage, but if I can pick up a Vera before it of course gets any bigger, then usually that's a fairly decent trade-off, especially since our hand is actually looking to be fairly optimal right now as far as going wide. We just need to get those spell boosts going now. And because we have, of course, Magic Owl, we should be able to do that fairly reasonably. So Magic Owl plus the Fate's Hand. I'm going to, of course, aim for as much draw as possible first, while, of course, picking off the opponent's board. I can't really afford to leave too much up against aggro blood, which is pretty much what this guy's playing at this point. So I had to, of course, favor defeating the board before defeating everything else. Even if it does put me at a little bit of a slower disadvantage here. But it's looking okay so far. 9 health though doesn't leave us with much wiggle room as far as that goes, so we're definitely going to hope this Glow play can pull it off. The Golem Assault is also not too bad actually. I should be able to take fairly decent advantage of that if I can get a decent setup here, although we're looking even better with this Glow now. So yep, Glow Insights, they decided that they were the better plays. Especially since I can go for now all 0 cost, Zealots of Truth, everything like that. Play the Daria out, set ourselves up quite nicely. And we got an average draw. It would have been better if I, of course, could have got the play out on the extra Zealot of Truth or the Enchanted Sword, but I'll settle for what we've got. Favouring mass damage, putting ourselves on equal terms as far as damage goes. It's really just a matter of can they deal 9 this turn or can they defend themselves enough. And this is a fairly decent defense so far. But it's not going to be enough. I mean, we have the Enchanted Sword, we have the Zealot of Truth. If I play them both, we pretty much can win the game here. So, Enchanted Sword, Zealot of Truth, 11 damage, 2 face, 4 lethal. Next up, Rune versus Portal. Another semi-popular deck I've noticed in at least recent times. It's becoming a little more popular. Of course, this is all anecdotal evidence based on my own personal experiences. There are some much better meta breakdowns as far as what's more popular at the moment. So, Mysterious Knowledge, pretty decent turn 1. I'll get that double boost going. Unfortunately, they didn't play anything that I could use a Mysterious Missile on, so I guess the Golem, the only real option, especially since we get more boosts, so if we can take advantage of a triple boost that turn, I'll take it. Now we have a target at least. It's not a bad target either. Getting that off the board is pretty decent. looking at a pretty decent turn 5-ish play setup, if we can get that going. Again, no real play though, outside of just a Conjure Guardian, so really just curving is all I can do now. I don't have enough points to play out my full hand, so really don't have many options left. We're actually probably going to have to end up dumping the entire hand for Daria, so that we can potentially reset our kind of countdown set and work with better cards. Since I don't like the way this match is going so far. Yep, no real option. Drawing that Daria really did put me in a pickle. I've pretty much just got to play what I can here. This isn't bad, plenty of draw power, some decent early game kind of removal things, which usually deal pretty well against Portal at any stage in the game, so that should work. And a Zealot of Truth, some extra damage. Plus, they are forced to remove this, so they are going to have to put some damage into it. And now we're on a pretty much fresh board play. I did decide to send the Magic Missile into the 2/2, just in case I didn't draw anything to counter, so I could use the Angelic. Unfortunately, we did end up getting the draw there, so it was kind of pointless. But I mean, it did at least spell boost us, so that's okay. And now Portal kind of going for it with that Acceleratium. Probably should have went for the double Angelic, honestly, first here, instead of going for the instant draw, but I did want to kind of get that draw in case I had other things I could spell boost, like this Daria here. So I think I still made the right decision as far as going for that. And I decided to hold off on the blade so I can go for next turn. I want to do a big kind of swing of damage, try and get as much in as I can in a single turn, and next turn is looking to be the one where I can do it. Especially with this Magic Owl spell boost going. Since we are only realistically boosting the Daria. So I have a chance to go for the Daria. I decided to take it, throw it to the board now. Try and get whatever else I can to work with. We didn't do too bad. I decided to go all face. I mean, I don't have a reason not to at this point. The 5/5 wasn't really a threat to my points. So now it's just what can they do from here. Even if they manage to wipe the board, I have lethal next turn. I have exactly 9 damage. As long as I don't ward here, or heal, we should be in the green, so it should look quite good. So, if anyone's wondering what lethal I have, it is literally just the Magic Missile, drop the Zealots, drop the Enchanted Sword. We should have plenty of points to do all of that once I play the Missile, since we will get a triple boost. Although this entity is definitely a good counter, that is going to stop us from getting victory this turn. But it's really only going to buy them 1, since, of course, we've got some options here. Decided to go for the draws. Trying to see if I can get anything else that I could use. Decided to hold on to the Enchanted Sword. Doesn't really make a difference at this point, since they would negate 1 damage anyway, so we'd only be able to get them down to 1. Which could have been a good play, to be honest. I probably should have went for the 1. Especially if they decided to heal, it probably would have been the better way to do it, just in case, but not like it's going to mean much when you've got knowledge in hand, so all I have to go for is pretty much any card in knowledge play and I can win the game. From this point, at least. The opponent not really doing a lot to counter, so I decided to go for 1 Knowledge Seeker as a full play. Was kind of pointless, to be honest, but it was a little bit of fun. And now we get the Verdict Ritual for lethal. The entity slowed us down slightly, but we got there in the end. So I can definitely see why Rune is being played so much. This Rune deck does an exceptional job in both consistency and lethal. I did find some games can be reasonably close and will put you down to the wire, but if you can get any of those big swing turns, really just flood the board, you can pretty much win any matchup at that point, and it's really hard to lose from that position. It's mainly just a matter of, are you going to lose to yourself? Is your RNG going to be good enough to draw those cards that you need when you need them? Or are you just going to brick turn after turn, and that can really screw you over quite quickly? So if you are interested in a decent deck for Unlimited, I highly recommend playing this one. It is also extremely cheap as far as it goes. Unlimited actually has some really good cheap options lately as far as decks, since Daria is the only legendary required, and we have only literally got a few golds in the deck with just a single Golem Assault here and the triple Knowledge Seeker. You really don't need a lot to run it. So if you guys did enjoy this video, hit the like button and subscribe. You'll find the deck list in the description below. Until next time, guys, see ya.